Welcome to the first match of the UCI Mountain Bike Eliminator World Cup in Volterra, Italy. We start this World Cup about 50 kilometers from Pisa in the beautiful Tuscany region with its famous landscapes and picturesque villages. And one of those villages is Volterra, a tourist haven that today is turned into a mountain bike track. We start with sunny skies. But before the start of the competition, the rain begins to fall, an added factor for the riders to deal with. UCI decides to start the contest 1 hour earlier for safety reasons, so the riders speed up their warm-ups for the first part of the event, which is a time trial. Anticipation is building among them, suspense about what's in store.
I'm riding Eliminator since a few years and won already 2 World Cups. I'm 5 world champion, so I'm used to the terrain, but you can see here every race is different. Sometimes it's in the cities, sometimes in the forest. So every race is different, but I'm looking forward to race here because it's a really beautiful city and I like it. The start will be really important. Yeah, but we'll see how it will end.
Yeah, I think it's really good from City Mountain Bike and from the UCI to take back the World Cup Eliminator, because especially there's always a big crowd there cheering for the guys, and so yeah, it's a good stuff. I think the most difficult part is the 2 curves here, because they're pretty in a high-speed section, and yeah, it's all caused by the rain.
Today I think is around the start and finish, because the stones are so slippery here. So I think that will be the hardest part.
It's raining and the corner is very difficult, and I need to stay calm and I don't really risk.
The lap and the track are more technical, but is not too physical track. It's a good start list, a strong start list with many good riders. Since Jürgen Van Eck, Simon Gegenheimer, and I think it will be a good fight today.
So that good fight starts with a time trial, the first run that determines the positions of the riders. The first to start is Jürgen Van Eck. Let's explore the track along with him. The ride starts very fast with a 90-degree turn, and then comes up the Red Bull curve that leads later to the safety jogger bridge. But watch out, watch for all that rain and that slipping and sliding, and some sharp turns. And now he's coming up real quick to the safety jogger bridge. There it is. Okay, he made it. And then towards the narrow streets of Volterra. And in those narrow streets, again, lots of rain, lots of slipping and sliding. Then there's that short, small bridge. You take on the wave bridge. And after that, we make a big turn around the church and then cycle through an arcade. And we go back down with another jump bridge on the way, then turn 90 degrees to the right and a short slope toward the finish. They're racing against the clock to determine their position in the competition. The faster you go, the better your position in the starting lineup. And to get high up in that starting lineup, it's a lot of slipping and sliding, a lot of jumping over those bridges and over those curves. And sometimes you almost wipe out, and others, oh, you really do. And then some of those telltale marks are on some of the competitors as well. Oh, some of the bikes, some of the shoulders, look out. Okay, and here's the lineup after the time trials, the results. And if you look very closely, the top 4 competitors are barely 1.5 seconds between them. So that points to a very, very tight race.
Very slippery, and yeah, but I did my best, and yeah, I'm 5th now in the qualification, and yeah, so I look forward to the finals.
Yeah, I'm in the second heat. I had a really good qualification. The technical skills of the riders will be tested today, and I stayed on my bike, did some
good intervals on the straight, so I'm looking forward to the quarterfinals now.
That's right, on to the quarterfinals, and we got new numbers just to keep you on your toes. Number 16 is Johan Weiden of Sweden. The other three are from France. Number 9 is Titouan Perrin-Gagné. Number 8 is Simon Rogier of France as well. And number 1 is Lorenzo Ceres. And they're off. You can see Ceres immediately takes the lead. He's followed by the French champ Perrin-Gagné. And the surface, you can see a bit drier right now. That lets them pick up their speed, the competition being even more intense, but they got to watch out on the curves. Now we see Ceres and Perrin-Gagné opening up a big gap with Rogier and Weiden. Ceres making a very, very strong showing, especially in those curves. And that despite all the slipping and sliding from the rain. And we watched as Ceres opened up an even wider lead over his competitors in the curves and in the straightaway toward the end. It almost seemed like a piece of cake for him, popping a wheelie at the very end.
Le parcours est très technique, très glissant. Faut faire super attention dans tous les virages. Tout est très glissant vu le temps. Et voilà, il faut rester vigilant. Et quand on reste vigilant, normalement ça passe.
So what do we got at the end of the first heat? We've got Lorenzo Ceres and Titouan Perrin-Gagné moving on to the next round. Now the second heat of the quarterfinals, we got Lorenzo Pellegrini, number 13 of Italy. Number 12, Simon Gutmann of Germany. Number 5, Vitus Wagenbauer, also of Germany. And number 4, Jeroen van Eck of the Netherlands. And here we go. Van Eck takes the lead straight out the gate, followed by Wagenbauer. And both of them on that nice dry surface are stretching out their lead over Gutmann and Pellegrini. But as the race goes on, we see how Gutmann is losing his lead over Pellegrini, who eventually overtakes him and starts to threaten Wagenbauer. Pellegrini is especially fast in the corners, so it's a very tight race for second place. But Wagenbauer shows himself just too strong to be overtaken. He's fighting back. And at the very end, it's Van Eck out on top, and Wagenbauer keeps his second place position.
A little bit better than in the qualifications. Yeah, so I can smile now. It's getting dry now and not so slippery. Very, very good.
So the second heat of the quarterfinal, Jeroen van Eck and Vitus Wagenbauer coming out on top and moving on. In the third heat, number 15, Mirko Caramento of Italy. Number 10, Andrea Roccon of Italy. Number 7, Simon Gegenheimer of Germany. And number 2, Alberto Mingorance of Spain. And watch out, Gegenheimer immediately taking the lead, with Mingorance struggling with him, opening up the way for Caramento to snatch the lead from them. Then another struggle between Mingorance and Roccon, with Mingorance wiping out and the Italian taking the lead. Gegenheimer, defending his position, overtakes Roccon in the curve. Roccon struggling with Gegenheimer, but Gegenheimer cuts him off. We see Caramento in the lead, but having some kind of trouble allowing Gegenheimer to take the lead. Then a fight between Caramento and Mingorance. A bit of a mashup. And now we're seeing Gegenheimer very strong in the curves, the jumps, and the straightaways. Now in the corner, Mingorance has overtaken Roccon, who wipes out, taking too many risks to fight back. Mingorance, very strong, overtakes Gegenheimer, gives him a sign to calm down, virtually coasts to victory despite the crash at the beginning. Roccon says it was a really tough race, to say the least.
Very hard race.
it is very difficult, this floor. Next race, it will better.
Sí, no, esto es de otro entreno que caí, pero que sí, he caído en la tercera curva, me han metido el codo y se me ha ido completamente, no he podido controlarlo, pero bueno, me he levantado rápido, que no se me han escapado y al final he podido ganar la manga.
So a tooth and nail third round with Mingorance and Gegenheimer coming out on top. So the fourth and final heat, number 14, Elias Tanninger of Austria, number 6, Martino Fruet of Italy, number 3, Federico Mandelli of Italy, and Łukasz Szymczuk of Poland was a no-show. Now watch closely, Fruet makes a strong start jumping out ahead, but with Tanninger hot on his tail. Tanninger is now overtaken by Mandelli in the curve and pulls out ahead in the straightaway. And the gap opens wider between the Italians and Tanninger, who doesn't seem to put up much of a fight toward the end there. The Italians, very powerful and virtually coast to victory. You can see how Fruet and Mandelli are having a good time toward the end there, just putting a big show, making their jumps. Not threatened at all by Tanninger. So their first and second positions secure. It's a cakewalk over the finish line. And here we go, the last of the quarterfinals. Fruet Mandelli on top, Tanninger knocked out. And on to the semifinals, the first round. Number 9, Titouan Perrin-Gagné. Number 5, Vitus Wagenbauer. Number 4, Jeroen van Eck. And number 1, Lorenzo Serres. Van Eck very strong from the start. Wagenbauer having trouble. Perrin-Gagné sees an opening and grabs it to take the lead. Van Eck trails but overtakes Wagenbauer in the curve. The two Frenchmen are on top. Perrin-Gagné very strong. Then suddenly slips. Serres moves ahead, followed by Van Eck, but once Serres is in the lead, he keeps it in his grip. Van Eck trying to catch up with Serres, but just can't do it. Serres much too strong. And there's more theater ahead. Now Perrin-Gagné pushes back Wagenbauer, but has trouble with his chain, and it's game over for him. A big disappointment for the French champion, defeated by a technical problem. Serres shows himself very technically adept in the straightaways as well as the corners, having methodically scoped out this Italian village to master its cobblestones even in the rain. Wagenbauer says he was up against a tough lineup in this round.
We did a good start, but they come all too close, and so yeah, it was not the best position as fourth position, and yeah, then it was close between me and the fourth rider, and not so fair, and yeah, okay, now I'm out, and yeah. Let's see, the small final follows, and yeah, I will do that. Thanks.
A hard-fought first-round semifinal with Serres and Van Eck moving ahead. Serres says it was a risky race for him too.
Je suis régalé. Encore une fois, très difficile vu que le parcours glisse beaucoup et mon collègue français Titouan Perrin-Gagné a glissé juste devant moi. Du coup, c'était très dur pour l'éviter. Et après, j'ai tout donné, j'ai pas lâché jusqu'à l'arrivée, quoi. Maintenant, on se concentre pour la finale.
But first, we go to the second heat of the semifinal. In the lineup, we've got Simon Gegenheimer of Germany, number 7. Martino Fruet, number 6 of Italy. Number 3, Federico Mandelli of Italy. And number 2, Alberto Mingorance of Spain. Here we go. Gegenheimer starts out very fast, but is too aggressive, and Mingorance takes the lead. And with a spectacular curve action, moves further ahead. Gegenheimer is in last place while the two Italians try to move in on Mingorance, but he hangs on to his lead. Mandelli overtakes Fruet, with Gegenheimer still struggling. Gegenheimer still way behind. But the race tightens up. Through the arcade, they're still very close to each other. Gegenheimer overtakes Fruet on the curve. Mingorance is still strong in the corner, keeps his lead. Gegenheimer tries to close in on Mandelli, who stubbornly hangs on to his second position. It's a tight race from the curve around the church and all the way to the end in a mano a mano between Gegenheimer and Mandelli. Gegenheimer sprints in the final stretch, but can't quite make it past Mandelli. So, in the final Heat 2 of the men's semifinals, Alberto Mingorance and Federico Mandelli. And before the final, the race for 5th place. Gegenheimer takes an early lead, and Perrin-Gagné trailing last. A dry surface allows all the bikers to pick up as much speed as they can, and the race intensifies. And we're seeing Gegenheimer extending his lead around the curve of the church, making a much better showing than in the last round. He just won't give up that first place there. Perrin-Gagné then overtakes Wagenbauer and Fruet, but not without a struggle. And now the French champ is chasing Gegenheimer, hot on his tail. But Gegenheimer ensures his lead position, too strong for Perrin-Gagné to catch up. Here they are in the final curves, and Gegenheimer still holding on to his first position. Perrin-Gagné desperately trying to catch up and sprint past him. But even in the final curves there, Gegenheimer will not give in. Final stretches, Gegenheimer all the way, even in the sprint. And there you go, Gegenheimer in first place in the small finals. That's in 5th place overall. And now, what you've all been waiting for here in Volterra, Italy, the final face-off of the UCI MTB Eliminator World Cup. Jeroen van Eck of the Netherlands, number 4. Number 3, Federico Mandelli of Italy. Number 2, Spain's Alberto Mingorance. And from France, number 1, Lorenzo Serres. Serres jumps out as a fast starter, taking the lead. In hot pursuit, Mandelli and Mingorance try to challenge Ceres at his dominance, but no dice. Van Eck slips behind, and the anticipation is building among the crowd and among the riders. As you can watch them, they're taking more and more risks with sharper curves, sharper moves, as they try to overtake each other. Just a dead heat here. Van Eck still struggling, refuses to give up. This makes a powerful show of force as the other riders try to keep up, but just. Van Eck doesn't give up his fight, hanging on right up through the second round, very close behind. But he later pulls in closer, strong on the turn to build his speed. In second position, Mingorance looks for ways to catch Ceres, who pulls away every time. And the time is running out in this eliminator. Ceres, precise, methodical, makes no mistakes as he keeps his lead all the way. In the final stretch, Ceres holds on to his lead. Van Eck is closing in fast on Mandelli, and with a strong jump and a sprint, shooting past him to come in third. Let's look at a replay. You can see how powerful Van Eck was with a burst of energy and snatching third place. And the winner, Lorenzo Ceres, in first place, followed by Alberto Mingorance, Jeroen Van Eck, and Federico Mandelli.
Je suis trop content d'avoir gagné ma première Coupe du Monde XCE. C'est super. Pour une première, c'est énorme. C'est que du bonheur.
Et maintenant?
Et maintenant, on va passer aux étapes suivantes. On va aller voir toutes les autres courses qu'il y a partout dans le monde et on va essayer de suivre. Voilà.
Y bueno, aparte de la caída, al final he podido pasar a la final y en la final podría haber dado más, eso no se sabe nunca, pero bueno, no quería tampoco arriesgar a caerme, prefiero un segundo antes que un cuarto.
It was a hard one, but actually in the beginning I felt really strong and I was just looking for the gap because I had the fourth qualification time and was in the outside at the start, which was not the best position, to be honest. So I was already in fourth position. I had to try to find a gap, which took me actually till the last straight to the finish line, and I could manage to get third, but yeah, of course I wanted to win here. But now I know I'm in shape, so I'm really looking forward to the next rounds of UCI World Cup Eliminator.
Taking third place on the podium, Jeroen Van Eck. Alberto Mingorance takes a hard-fought second place, and Lorenzo Ceres at only 19 and winner of the first UCI Mountain Bike World Cup Eliminator. After a few victory kisses, he takes the lead jersey. As they toast this eliminator in Volterra, Italy, they look ahead to the next one in Columbus,